Alright, so I made the sweet plantains, I made arepas, and I made Mexican style tacos. Hello everybody! Today I'm going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to cook food that I love. I'm going to be making arepas, which is from Venezuela. I'm going to do sweet plantains, which is from all kinds of different countries, mostly South American countries and Haiti and Jamaica and stuff like that. And I'm also going to be making Mexican style tacos, both steak and chicken. So we'll see in just a second. Alright, to make arepas, what we're going to use is, this is the brand I use just because it's what I have. It's what I was taught with. You can use yellow or white. I usually use white, but they didn't have any white at the store the other day. So you're going to take the cornmeal and you put some in a bowl. And so you can get enough so you can make as many as you want. I don't know how many this is going to make, but I'm not going to make a lot. So, whoops, I guess I'm making more than I thought because I'm trying to do this one-handed and film. Then you're going to add some water to it, because you need liquid. I don't know how much water I'm going to need until I start mixing it up. And then you're just going to add a smidge of salt, just a pinch, because you don't want it too salty. So you just add a little bit of salt just for flavor. And then you're going to mix all this up. So yeah, it's not hard to do. I might end up making some more because there's not a whole lot in here, but I don't want to make too many because I'm making all this other stuff to go with it. So I don't want to overeat because I have a bad habit of... Alright, I'm fat and I like being fat. Okay, let's just leave it at that. So you're going to mix this up real good, and then, well, I'm going to mix this up real good, and I'll bring you back in for the next step because you don't want to sit here and watch me mix up a bunch of cornmeal with some water. So, see you in a second. Alright, so I had to add a little bit more water because it was a little too powdery. But I've been, if you look here, my skillet, I preheated that. So now what I'm going to do is just make cute little balls. But you want this little on the wet. You don't want it too wet. You want it like a Play-Doh consistency. A little bit wetter than that because it'll dry out quick and you don't want it too dry. So then you just flatten that, and then you put it on your griddle, and then you move to the next one, and then yeah, I had to have somebody else rattling film because yeah, I can't do this with one hand, obviously. And you can make them as big or as small as you want. I like them a little bit on the bigger side, that way I can have plenty of toppings on mine, because yes, you will add toppings to these later. So yeah, there's the next one, and let me go ahead and get these all done up, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, so I got them all made and formed, and I put them on the griddle. I make mine a little bit bigger. I was going to make more smaller ones, but I'm having a lot of other food with this, so like I said, you do add toppings. So I've got some bigger ones. The two small ones will be for Randall and two big ones will be for me. But when you see how what you can do with these, you will understand why you want bigger arepas versus little ones. So if you watch a certain movie that came out recently by a mouse, they talk about arepa con queso. It's arepa with cheese, which is basically one of the things you can do with this, but we don't talk about Bruno. So that you let them cook for a little bit on one side, and then you flip them over and you squish them down, that way you don't have a bunch of fingerprints. You can see it's browned a little bit on this side. And you don't want to cook them all too fast because, yeah, and you don't want to burn them. So, yes, I use my fingers because I'm an idiot. But that's besides the point. Plus, I don't, really care. Use a turner if you do this. It's easier for me to flip them by hand because I got to squish them down to make flat surface. So now that these are browned on this side, we're going to let them brown on the other side. We'll turn them a few more times, but you'll see all those steps here in just a minute. All right, so I'm gonna flip them again. I got a fork because I know you guys are gonna yell at me for using my fingers, and then I use them anyway. So get them a little bit browner on that side. Oops. You know what? See, that's why I don't use utensils. I just like to use my fingers. It's easier. And yes, I do have it at 400 degrees, so it's really hot. So I like to cook them fast. So we're gonna let them sit for just another second or a few more minutes, and then I'll show you what the next step is. Alright, you got them nice and browned on both sides. You're gonna get yourself a little plate, put them on the side on a plate, and then add some toppings. So there's my little, I'm using paper today because I'm cheap. So we're gonna add toppings, so you'll see how to do that in just a second. Alright, I've got my plantains, I already peeled them. I've got some oil over here heating up. You want to cut these diagonally. That one we're not going to use right off the bat, but you want to cut them not too thick, not too thin, but these are ripe. You want them very, very ripe when you do this. That way the flavor of the sweetness comes out. But you want to cut them diagonally. Diagonally. Yeah, not diagonally. You want to cut them diagonally. And then once these are all done, I'll show you what the next step is. Alright, so I got my plantains cut and I got my oil heated up. You're just going to put these in here a few at a time, and you are going to let them cook, which is pretty simple. It's not hard to do. And then they come, you want them really ripe because then they come out so sweet. They are just so delicious. So there's that batch for now. And when these are ready for the next step, I'll show you that step. But we got plenty of plantains to cut. I'm not doing a whole lot because, yeah, there's only 2 of us eating, so I don't need a whole bunch of them. So I already turned them once. They don't take long to cook, so you don't want to overcook them. You don't want to cook them too long on one side. So you flip them, and then you let the other side cook, and then I'll flip them a few more times, but I have to do that so quick I can't film and fry. So you'll see the finished product here in a second. So you want to fry them until the sugar caramelizes on them. So these are just about done. And then I'm going to cook the rest of them, and then I'll show you what the whole plate of them looks like. So yeah, they're starting to look so good, and they smell delicious. Oh, excuse me, they smell delicious. So we'll see in just a second. So I got them all cooked up, and there's a plate of sweet plantains. Randlin has never tried these, so this is going to be a first for her. I love eating these. So yeah, we'll show you the rest in just a second. Alright, so for the tacos, I'm cooking some beef or some steak. I'm going to put some adobo on there. You can add whatever seasonings you want. I'm just being cheap today. Whoops, too much. I got my black beans with the fresh onion, fresh garlic. Got some chicken over here because Randlin doesn't eat beef or pork. I'm going to put the adobo on that. And then we're going to cook them. So let me get them cooked and I'll show you what they look like here in a second. Alright, so I made the sweet plantains, I made arepas, and I made Mexican style tacos. So yeah, let me show you what we're going to do now. The arepas, I cut them in half. That way I put butter on. You can put whatever toppings you want. Like that movie I mentioned earlier, they talk about arepa con queso. They put cheese on theirs. So you can put cheese on it. You can put deli sliced ham. Randlin eats turkey. Or you can put black beans on it. So I'm going to make one with some ham, just because it's easy. And then I'm going to throw some black beans on this one right here, and you just pick them up and eat them like that. Some people make sandwiches out of them. I don't do that. I like to eat them individually. I put that right there, some black beans. Randlin doesn't like black beans either. Sometimes you can eat them with just butter if you want. If you want to put taco or the steak on them, or you can put chicken on them. We're using those for the tacos, and I'm going to put some cheese on this one, and beans are nice and warm, so that'll melt. So there's my arepa. Now for my Mexican style tacos, I got corn tortillas, soft. You take that. I eat steak, and notice I didn't cook much because there's only 2 of us eating. So yeah, I'm not going to cook a whole lot of meat because all this food, I'm lucky if I eat 1, maybe 2 tacos. So yeah, I'm just going to make one for you, show you how I do it. At least the way I do it. Everybody else does it differently. It can be however you want. I notice my meat's a little dry. Dang it. Oh well, that's fine. But I like my steak. And then you put some fresh onions. Oh, whoops, I got a little too many onions there. Let me fix that. Fresh onions, throw some fresh cilantro. And then you take a lime wedge and you squirt the lime on it. And there you go, Mexican style taco. So we have an arepa with black beans and cheese. We have an arepa with ham. And I'm gonna throw some plantains on here. And we're gonna get Randolin's ready. And then we're gonna see what she thinks of the food. So we'll see you here in a second. All right, so we got our plates made up. I made 2 tacos. I made the arepa with ham, the arepa with black beans and cheese, and then I've got my sweet plantains. Randolin surprised me. She's gonna try an arepa with black beans. She's not having turkey, and then a arepa con queso, chicken tacos, and plantains. So Randolin, you've never had the sweet plantains before, have you?
Nope.
All right, so let's get to trying. I want to see what you think. What do you think?
They do taste like a banana.
They do taste like a banana. If you cook them up right now, I want to see you try the arepa with black beans because you've never had that before. So we're going to see what she thinks about this because usually she just eats them with turkey or butter or whatever. So here we go. What do you think?
Good.
Good. All right. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.